Hi, welcome to Camp Happy Mill. I'm so glad you decided to join me today. We have a couple of firsts today. A couple of things that I'm gonna do today that I've not done on a video before. So we're gonna hope that this goes okay. I'm a little nervous about this, but we're gonna give this our best shot. So I have an anniversary card to make. This is a very special anniversary card. And I'm really, really excited about making it, but I'm also very nervous about making it because I want it to be beautiful and I don't want to mess it up. And this could be hit or miss. So we're going to give this our best shot. I am using a layered stamping set by Altenew. It's called Blooming Tulips, and it is gorgeous. I have used this stamp before. It is a layered stamp set, as I said. It's a little tricky to get lined up. I apologize ahead of time if my head gets in your camera view, or if I move the stamp positioner, the Stampin' Wheel, down a little bit out of your camera view so I can get the stamps lined up, because it's really important that I get them lined up as precisely as I can. I won't do any of the stamping not in the camera view, but I might have to pull it away just to get things adjusted right. So this is the set we're going to use. The colors we're going to use on this are, the main flower is going to be purples, because one of the people that this is for, her favorite color is purple. So I wanted to make this one in purple. And then for the leaves, it's going to be greens. And then for the stamen in the middle, it's going to be yellow. Okay, so to do this, I am going to use the stamp wheel. I haven't used this on camera yet. I've been practicing with it. It's normally made for if you're going to do things in the round or do patterns, but I really want to start using this more. I do have the Misty, but I really want to use this. So I have used the sticky mat out of this for some of the stencil videos that I did and for some other projects. The pink on here is stained. That's from Red Catherine Polar ink. Could be purple as well. It's really frustrating that the red dyes and the purple has red in it, that they stain things. It doesn't affect how these things work or the quality of them or anything like that. It looks messy. It bothers me. I wish that there was something that could be done to get it off of this, but it is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I may need to clean this a little bit so it's more sticky, although if I didn't do this to it, it would probably be sticky again. Okay, so I just cleaned off my sticky mat, so it's a little bit more sticky than what it was. And we're going to start by just putting our paper down. And I think, so we're going to flip this over. Actually, no, we don't need that on there yet. Okay, so now we're going to start by laying out our stamps. And there is a guide that comes with this to show you how to use these. The Altenew packaging is so well done. They give you examples of what your cards could look like, and we're either going to do this or maybe this one. I don't know. One of those two. Probably like this, and then I'll put the happy anniversary up here. But it gives you the layering guide to show you how to line things up, what parts to use, and then what order to do them in. So I'm going to stand this up. You won't be able to see this on the screen, but I'm going to stand this up so that I can put this to use to make sure that I do this right. And we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first layer is supposed to be this one. And we got to figure out where we want this to lay out on our card so that we have enough room for the sentiment. And then the leaves will come up this way. So I think if we just do it right there, I think that'll be good. go ahead and ink this up with our lightest color of purple, which is going to be the Fresh Freesia. These are Stampin' Up inks. I have the most colors in Stampin' Up, so I tend to use those a lot. So we'll go ahead and ink this up. Now, at the bottom of my stamp wheel clear plastic top, the lid, I did put a little turquoise heart down here so that whenever I'm using it, I know that if I put it in here with this at the bottom, then whatever I laid down on that will be where I wanted it to be. You don't have to do it that way, that's just my preference. And I think we're going to give that another layer. Just to make sure we have some nice smooth coverage on it. And I'm not really pressing down on this, I'm just rubbing over it lightly to help it to have more contact. And we appear to have a hair or something on the stamp. Yep, there's a little hair on there. So see this little white line here? I had a hair on the stamp. So we're going to go ahead and stamp that again one last time to see if we can't cover that. We may end up just starting this over. No, and it's not going to cover it. Okay, so we're just going to start over because, like I said, I really want this card to be nice. So I'm going to go ahead and clean off my stamp. Make sure that there is no debris on it. And sometimes it happens, you know, that you have to start over on stuff. And that's perfectly okay. Okay. So we're just going to start again. Not a big deal. And then we'll lay this out again where we want it to be. And I think right there. And again, I'm putting my stamp wheel with a little turquoise heart straight down at the bottom. And we'll try this again. And we'll do another layer on this just to even it out some. And that's a lovely shade of purple. I think we'll go one more time with it. got a white spot on here and I don't know why. Which makes me wonder if there's a defect in this stamp. Well, you know, we're going to continue on because maybe that won't show. Maybe you won't notice it. So let's go ahead and clean up this part. I clean all of my stamps with just Blue Dawn mixed in water. Seems to take off all of the ink. Sometimes reds and purples will stain your stuff, as you can see on my mat there. But for the most part, it does pretty well at cleaning things up. Okay, and then the next step is the next shade of purple, and that's some of the detail. And I am going to pull this away so that I can get this lined up properly. Okay, with layering stamps, it is really important to get them lined up very, very precisely, or at least as close as you can get it. And there's no way that I would be able to do that without getting my camera or getting my head in your camera view. And the last thing you need to be doing is looking at the top of my head. So, and then we're going to use the next shade of purple. This is Highland Heather. And before I do this, I'm going to make sure that this stamp is good and clean. And that's really pretty. Okay, so we're going to give that one more layer just to make sure we have some good coverage. And again, I'm not really pressing down on this. I'm just going over it lightly just to make sure that all the surfaces touch. Okay, and I think we'll stop with that layer of the purple. And then we'll clean this stamp off again. And you can see that that purple did stain this stamp just a little bit. So it's now pink. It's a little frustrating, but it's going to be okay. Okay, and then the next layer is the detailed layer, or the outline layer rather. So again, I'm going to pull this away and get this lined up, and then we'll stamp it together. Okay, I think that's as close as I'm going to be able to get it. And our last color is going to be Gorgeous Grape. This is the darkest. Hopefully this will show up over the Highland Heather since we did 2 layers of that. So we'll probably do 2 of this one too. it does. It's very delicate, but it does show. Okay, that's beautiful. Okay, and that's our purple layer. There is still a little white spot in the middle of this flower here. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to chalk it up to there was either something on my stamp or something wrong with the stamp. I don't know. But anyways, it's too small to really worry about. So let's go ahead and do the next part of this, which is going to be the leaves. Now there's one leaf, and actually maybe we should do the stem first. So we can put our stem and then figure out where we want the leaves to go. And this is going to be tricky because of the stamp wheel having edges on it and having to put it down. So maybe I need to do this and just totally move this up so I can get the whole stem on here. Now the question is, okay. All right, so that worked. So we'll do this in the lightest color. Oh, we're done with the purples now. The lightest color of green that I have is Pear Pizzazz. So we will stamp this in a little Pear Pizzazz. I didn't align that perfectly with where my purple stem was on the flower. So maybe we will compensate for that when we do the darker colors. Okay, so this little dispenser is one of the coolest things in my craft room. This is a Squeaky Clean Dispenser, and it's made by Brutus Monroe. Brutus Monroe is a company that's in downtown Pittsburgh. Great little company. They have some really cool products, and this is one of them. So it holds liquid. I just put, like I said, I put Dawn dish soap in mine, just a couple of drops, and then I fill it with water. So what you do is there's 3 holes in the top of this. So you just press down on this, and that draws up the liquid from this little hose that's in here up into this little vessel. And then you just use your microfiber cloth or wherever you're using, and then that way you can easily clean off your stamps. When I got mine, I did buy it, and I got some of the, they make Squeaky Clean liquid stamp cleaner that you can put in these, and they do different scents for them, and it's really cool that they do that. But I like to use Dawn dish soap to clean up my ink, because I found that Dawn will take it off my fingers, which I'll be scrubbing these later. And And it works, it seems to work just the same as the stamp cleaner. But it's totally up to you. You can certainly buy stamp cleaner and use that. And there are some stamps that you should, or some kind of inks that you should use a stamp cleaner on. But for basic stamps like these, I found that the Dawn dish soap works just well, and it works great in this little dispenser. And it's probably one of my most favorite things to use in my craft room. So that's my plug for the Squeaky Clean Dispenser by Brutus Monroe. And no, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I just really like some of their products. And the owner, who I've never met, just seems like a truly nice human. So, okay, so that was the lightest color. So let's do the next one, and that's this stamp. And I am going to pull this away from the camera so I can get this lined up. Okay, and apparently I'm going to have to stamp this with an acrylic block because this is not bent the same way that I have it on here, and I can't get it to lay in place. It just wants to keep moving. I think this is the biggest acrylic block that I have. Okay, and that's going to be as close as I'm going to get it. So this will be interesting. It's going to be hit or miss whether this works or not. It's close enough. We're going to take it. So I guess the trick to it is to not try to form it, but just put it down however it flows, that first piece, so that the second one goes much easier. See, we learned something new today. All right, so let's carry on. So we're still going to use those two shades of green to do the leaves. So I think we'll do one here. And again, we're going to start out with the lightest shade of green, which is this one, the Pear Pizzazz. Now they only give you one leaf with the two pieces, the solid and then the detail. So you have to strategically place them to make it look like they're two leaves. And we're going to go ahead and stamp that again. But only after we fumble the ink pad. Okay. That almost looks as dark as that color. So we'll clean this one off. add the detail, and I am going to pull this away so I can get this lined up. And I'm sorry that I'm not showing the lining up of the stamps. I realize that's part of the deal with layering stamps, is to be able to show how to line them up. I will do that in plenty of other videos. If I wasn't under a little bit of a time crunch to get this one done and have it right the first time, then I would probably show the actual lining of them up, although you'd be looking at the top of my head through most of it. I don't know, I'll have to figure out how to do it. And that one was a little bit off, but it's okay. We're gonna go with it. Layering stamps are not easy. They're not hard, but they're also not easy. It's always hit or miss whether you have them perfectly aligned, because it's really difficult to see down through the stamps. And let's see, which way does this one go? So I guess we could line it up like that. Okay, that's pretty decent. And now we will add the detail. I really do like this stamp wheel. It's very nicely built. It's real easy for using layering stamps on it. I can't wait to try it for making patterns and things. I need to make some time to play with this some more. Okay, I can live with that. And then the last part that we have to do is the little stamen things in the center. So let's clean up the inks, because we're done with the green. And let's see if we can get these little things put in here. Not exactly sure how they go, so let me take a look. Okay. So they appear to go just like that. Those were a little tricky. I had to turn them around a couple of times to figure that one out. I think we'll probably revisit this one, and I will actually do the lining up underneath the camera, just to show you how to do it. And for this, we're going to use Mango Melody, which is a yellowish orange. That's a super juicy ink pad. And we're going to stamp those a second time. we might stamp them a third time, just to make them a little bit darker. Okay, so now I need to find a happy anniversary stamp. Okay, so quick flip through of my stamps, and I found two happy anniversary stamps that just might work. This is Altenew. This is Painted Poppies. It's another layering stamp set. Very, very basic, but very nice. And it has very nice sentiments in it. So the happy and the anniversary. Now I need to be mindful, and I should probably do this first. I need to trim this panel down because I do want to mat this on our card base. So let me see how big this one is. Okay, that one would definitely work if I trim it down. This one, I'm not so sure. So let me just do a little testing here. Okay, I don't have much leeway if I cut this one down. But I really like that font. So let me go ahead and trim this. Let's do this in reverse order. Let's take this off of here for now. Okay, so I think this is what we're going to mat this on. So I think we're going to mat it in the lighter color to bring out the lighter color in the middle. So let's get our card base prepped. Was hoping to leave a bigger border around this, but I'm just concerned that that sentiment isn't going to fit if I do. So let me trim this down some. I am going to use a die to cut this so that I make sure that I get it straight, but I need to cut the paper down so I can get the die through the die cut machine. And for this, I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Misty because I'm more comfortable with the Misty. I am going to heat emboss this in gold. And use my anti-static powder tool because we don't want gold powder where we don't want it. This is Altenew Antique Gold Embossing Powder. We're going to ink this up really well. This is a Versamark ink pad, embossing pad. Okay. And then we're going to heat this up using a Wagner heat tool. You can get these from Home Depot, Lowe's, that kind of place. It's got two settings on it. It's got a high and a low setting. I always use the high setting when I'm melting embossing powder. I'm going to heat this up for a couple of seconds. I'm going to take the sound out of this so you don't have to listen to this. There it is. Look how pretty. Perfect. Now all we have to do is finish putting this card together. You know what? I didn't trim the bottom of this. So here's my trick for trimming the bottoms. Because I don't measure stuff. Yes, I could measure this. Am I going to? No. Because it's just as easy to do it this way. Turn this over. Put it where we want it, taking note of the space on the sides. Take my little pencil. Make a mark. One and done. Simple as that. I'll just make sure that it lines up in here. And it does. That's perfect. All right, so let's glue this together. And the final touch on this is, I think I will take a little bit of Winkastella. And I'm just putting it on the darker, I guess the medium dark areas, just to give it a little something extra. You won't be able to see this on camera very well, but it's adding some shimmer to this. So that's going to wrap things up here today. This is our card, and I will come back and do some other videos on layering stamps because I have a bunch of them, and they need to be, you know, loved. They need to be used. So I will demonstrate better how to line up the layering stamps in upcoming videos. But for now, this is our card for today, and I thank you for sticking around with me while we got this one done. And I look to seeing you in the next video. Thanks.